Hello viewers, myself I am K. Bhaskar, working as Assistant Professor in Department of Chemistry at SRR Government Arts and Science College, Karimnagar. In this video, I am going to give a presentation on the topic that is isomerism in coordination compounds. You know, similar to that of organic compounds, our coordination compounds also exhibit various types of isomerism, that is structural isomerism as well as stereoisomerism. In the last, if you look at my last video presentation, we have already covered the structural isomerism in coordination compounds. In this video, we are going to cover the stereoisomerism in coordination compounds, right? So if you look at this slide, these are the learning outcomes of the topic that is isomerism in coordination compounds, right? By the end of this video, we will learn the geometrical isomerism and optical isomerism in coordination compounds. In the last video presentation, we have covered these items, that is the concept of isomerism in coordination compounds, structural isomerism, as well as types of ligands and its importance in understanding the structural isomerism. Now in this video, by the end of this video, we are going to learn about the geometrical isomerism as well as optical isomerism in coordination compounds, and what is the criteria of the optical activity for a given complex. How to identify whether the given complex is optically active or not, right? Just we are concentrating on two complexes. One is the coordination number 4, that is tetrahedral or square planar complex. Another one is octahedral complex, that is coordination number 6, right? You know this very well. Isomerism is of two types: structural isomerism, stereoisomerism. Structural isomerism is due to the difference in the bond connections, that is difference in the bond sequence, whereas stereoisomerism, in this the bond connections are same, but for these isomers there will be difference in the three-dimensional arrangement of the atoms or the groups at the center in a given molecule, right? Again, you have already seen this slide in the previous video also. Structural isomerism is of various types and stereoisomerism is of two types, right? Stereoisomerism. So just now we have covered the definition, that is stereoisomers are nothing but these are the isomers having same structural arrangement, that is having same bond connections, but they differ in the three-dimensional, that is spatial arrangement of atoms are different in these isomers. Such isomers are called as stereoisomers. Again, these stereoisomers are classified into two types. One is geometrical isomerism, another one is optical isomerism, right? Let us know about these types of stereoisomers in detail one by one in the coming slides, right? What is geometrical isomerism? Geometrical isomer is a type of stereoisomerism, right? If you look at the geometrical isomers, if you recollect the geometrical isomerism in organic compounds, you can see here the double bonded compounds exhibit geometrical isomerism, right? Right. You can see in the picture cis compound and trans compound, right? When you exchange or interchange the spatial arrangement of A and B, which has shown in this circle, if you interchange the spatial arrangement of A and B at the carbon center, then we will get the trans isomer, right? So when do we get geometrical isomerism for a given complex? Usually if we interchange the positions then there should be difference in the spatial orientation of the atom or the group within the molecule. Then only we will see the geometrical isomerism in the given compound. For example, in this you can see here in the cis isomer, the red color B atom is spatially nearer to the adjacent B atom. Yes? Right. If you interchange the spatial arrangement of two groups which are in red color, that is A and B, then what happened? We will get the trans isomer. And if you look at this trans isomer, now the red color B atom is spatially far away from the adjacent B atom, right? Before the exchange, both the B atoms are nearer to each other. After the interchange, what happened? Now the two B atoms are in opposite direction, right? So in such case only we will get the geometrical isomerism. When we interchange the positions, then there should be difference in the spatial arrangement between the two atoms. Then in such case only the geometrical isomerism is possible, right? Okay. Now if you look at the geometrical isomers, that is cis and trans, usually these isomers, we know isomer, what is the definition of isomers? Two or more than two compounds having same chemical formula, but they differ in properties. Properties means physical properties or chemical properties or biological properties. Sometimes all the properties, right? Such compounds are called as isomers and the phenomenon is called as isomerism, right? What are geometrical isomers? These are the isomers which have same chemical formula but they differ in the physical properties as well as chemical properties. They differ both in the physical properties as well as chemical properties. Such type of isomers are called as geometrical isomers, and in these geometrical isomers there is the difference in the spatial arrangement of the atoms at the double bond or at the cyclic ring or at the center. Due to the difference in the arrangement, then we will get the geometrical isomers. These geometrical isomers differ in physical properties as well as chemical properties. Physical properties in the sense melting point, boiling point, dipole moment, refractive index, like that, right? If you look at this cis and trans isomer, you know in cis the packing is somewhat loose compared to that of trans. In trans, since it is a planar molecule compared to the cis compound, in trans it is much more planar. So therefore these trans compounds can be packed very much closely to one another. Then what happens? Its melting point increases. So melting point depends on the packing, how much they are closely packed, right? So trans compounds are closely packed compared to the cis compound. Therefore melting point of trans is high compared to the cis compound. Similarly, dipole moment. If you look at the definition of dipole moment, it is the product of the charge as well as bond separation, that is bond length, right? The dipole moment is a vector quantity. It depends on the direction of the groups or the atoms, right? So here in the cis compound there is a net dipole moment, whereas for trans compound the dipole moment is cancelled because the groups are opposite to each other, right? The boiling point depends on the polarity of the given compound. We know the boiling point of a given compound depends on the polarity. Just now we have seen the polarity of the cis compound is high compared to the trans. Therefore we can say the boiling point for the cis is high compared to the trans. So in this way, due to the difference in the boiling point, we can separate the geometrical isomers based on the technique, physical technique like distillation, right? Geometrical isomers can be separated based on the difference in their physical property, right? Now let us discuss the geometrical isomerism in coordination compounds, that is the complex with coordination number 6 as well as complex with coordination number 4. We are confined to only these two type of compounds because much of the literature and research has been done on these two types of complexes. Right. Coming to the complex with coordination number 4, we have two types of structure, that is tetrahedral as well as square planar. In tetrahedral, it is a non-planar complex. You can see it is a non-planar complex, whereas square planar, it is a planar complex. The name itself indicates it is a planar complex, right? In tetrahedral, actually there is no geometrical isomerism, right? For tetrahedral complexes, there is no geometrical isomerism because if you look at the structure, the bond angle between the two bonds is 109 degrees 28 minutes. That means A and B are separated by 109 degrees. Similarly, A and D is also separated by 109 degrees. A and C, these two bonds are also separated by 109 degrees angle. That means if you interchange the two atoms, if you interchange the two ligands A and B, what happens? There is no difference in the spatial arrangement because after the interchange of the ligands also, again the bond angle will not change between any two bonds. After the interchange also, the bond angle between the any two bonds is also again 109 degrees 28 minutes. So thereby we can say that since the bond distance between any two bonds in the tetrahedral complex is same, so there is no geometrical isomerism for tetrahedral complexes. And if you look at the square planar complex, right, here the angle between A and D is 90 degrees. The angle between A and B is 90 degrees. But if you look at the position of A and C, the angle between these two bonds, that is A and C, it is 180 degrees, right? They are opposite to each other. They are far away from each other, right? So before interchange of the positions in this structure, you can see A is adjacent to D ligand. A is adjacent to D ligand, right? Now if you exchange the A and B in this complex, what happens? The A will become opposite to the D ligand. Therefore there is a difference in the spatial arrangement. Therefore we can say that in square planar complexes there is the geometrical isomerism because here there is a possibility to get change in the spatial arrangement after the interchange of two ligands, right? Similarly, coming to the complex with coordination number 6, it is the octahedral structure. Here the ligand A is spatially nearer to the all the four ligands which are in plane, that is F, E, B, C. All these four ligands which are in planar are nearer to the A ligand. But whereas D ligand, it is away from the A ligand. Therefore, in this there are two arrangements. One is nearer arrangement, another one is far away arrangement. So when we exchange the positions of two ligands, then we will get the geometrical isomerism. So finally we can say that geometrical isomerism is possible in octahedral complex as well as in square planar complex, whereas in tetrahedral there is no question of geometrical isomerism, right? Right. Let us discuss the geometrical isomerism in square planar complexes with suitable examples. In the first example, the very beginning example is MA2B2 type. Here in this complex, you can see in the cis form, the two ligands, that is AA, are nearer to each other, whereas in trans the two ligands AA are opposite to each other. Therefore these two are geometrical isomers, right? Similarly, another example, Ma2BC type, right? In this, the first cis form, the AA are nearer to each other, therefore this is a cis compound, whereas in trans compound you can see the two ligands, that is AA, are in opposite direction, right? Now finally the complex with MABCD, 4 ligands are of different type. So for this complex there are 3 geometrical isomers are possible, right? If you look at this, the first complex structure, the A and C are perpendicular to each other, B and D are perpendicular to each other. So in this, AC, BD are the pairs, right? And if you look at the second complex, AB, CD, this is the combination. And in the third one, AD, BC, AD, BC, this is the combination. So with a given 4 ligands A, B, C, D, these are the only 3 combinations we will get. Therefore we can say that for this complex there are 3 geometrical isomers possible. Finally, you can see in this slide, this is an example of square planar complex having bidentate ligand, Here AB means it is a bidentate ligand with 2 different donor atoms in it. Such type of bidentate ligand is called as asymmetric bidentative ligand. For example, in this case I have taken glycinato. Glycinato is a bidentative ligand which has 2 donor atoms in it. One is amine, another one is carboxylate group, that is O minus. Right, in this glycinato bidentative ligand, if you see the 2 donor atoms, one is nitrogen, another one is oxygen. Therefore this is a asymmetric bidentative ligand. Whereas ethylene diamine, if you look at the ethylene diamine, if you try to look at the ethylene diamine structure, in that ligand the 2 donor atoms are amines, that means similar donor atoms. Such type of bidentative ligands are called as symmetrical bidentative ligands, right? AB means asymmetric bidentative ligand. Here in this case you can see in the first form of the complex, the nitrogens are opposite to each other, oxygens are opposite to each other. Such type of complex is called as trans. But actually here there is a typographical mistake here. The first complex is of trans form, because here in this complex the 2 oxygen atoms are opposite to each other and 2 nitrogen atoms are opposite to each other. Therefore this is a trans form, right? In the second one, the 2 oxygen atoms are nearer to each other, 2 nitrogen atoms are nearer to each other. Therefore this is a cis form. So this is an example of a square planar complex with asymmetric bidentative ligand, right? In this complex also there is a possibility of geometrical isomerism, which you can see in the slide, right? Coming to the geometrical isomerism in octahedral complexes, right? In the first example, Ma4B2 type, right? Here in this first cis form you can see the 2 ligands BB are nearer to each other, whereas in the trans form the BB ligands are opposite to each other, right? So these 2 are geometrical isomers. Similarly, A3B3 type, second example, right? In this you can see the first one is all the 3 B ligands are in a consecutive manner. Such type of arrangement is called as facial arrangement, and another one is meridional arrangement, which is of similar to the trans one. Facial means that is somewhat nearer to the cis one, right? These are also geometrical isomers. Of course, in this situation there are only 2 possibilities of geometrical isomerism, right? And if you look at the geometrical isomerism in octahedral complexes with both having the complex having both the monodentate ligand as well as symmetrical bidentative ligand. Here symmetrical bidentative ligand is taken here, he is ethylene diamine. Here you can see here ethylene diamine is a bidentative ligand, CH2 attached to NH2, right? In this you can see here This is a symmetrical bidentative ligand. That means same donor atoms NN, right? Right. So in the first form, that is cis form, you can see the two ligands, monodentative ligands Cl, chloro ligands are nearer to each other. Therefore, this is a cis isomer. Right side of the picture, you can see this is the trans isomer, in which the two monodentative ligands, that is chloro ligands, are far away from each other, opposite direction. Therefore, this is the trans isomer. Right. Right. Now coming to the optical isomerism. Right. What is optical isomerism? So this is a stereoisomer. This is a category of stereoisomerism, right? What is the difference between the geometrical isomerism and optical isomerism, right? The difference is, in geometrical isomerism, these stereoisomers are differ in their both physical as well as chemical properties, right? But whereas coming to the optical isomers, these are the stereoisomers which have identical physical as well as chemical properties. They have identical physical properties and identical chemical properties, except optical activity. That means these isomers differ in optical activity. Except optical activity, remaining all physical and chemical properties for these optical isomers is identical, same, right? So by this we can define the optical isomers as follows, right? So the stereoisomers having same chemical formula, but same chemical formula and same structural arrangement, which differ in three-dimensional arrangement of atoms around the center in a molecule, are called as stereoisomers. And these stereoisomers, which are having identical physical as well as chemical properties, but they differ in optical activity, such are called as optical isomers, right? What is optical activity? What is optical activity? It is a physical property similar to that of melting point, boiling point, dipole moment. This optical activity is also a physical property of a matter, right? What is the definition of optical activity? This is the phenomenon of rotating the plane polarized light by a substance is known as optical activity. The definition is very simple, right? Certain substances have a power of rotating the plane polarized light either towards right side or towards left side. This phenomenon of rotating the plane polarized light is known as optical activity, right? Very simple. The phenomenon of rotating the plane polarized light by a matter is known as optical activity, and the compound is known as optical active compound. The compound is defined as optically active compound, right? If you want to go into the details of optical isomerism, one must have clear idea about the various terms used during the study of optical activity, that is optical isomerism, which we can clearly explain based on the picture. You can see in the image, right? There is initially we have 3D light, that is electromagnetic radiation. You know, usually the light vibrates in all three-dimensional planes, that is x-axis, y-axis, z-axis. You can see in the image, this is a 3D light. That means a light which is vibrating in all the three-dimensional planes, right? When we pass this three-dimensional electromagnetic radiation, that is 3D light, through the filter, that is Nicol prism, what happens? What it do? Usually this Nicol prism, it will absorb or reject all the vibrations of light except in one plane, except in one plane. That means the emergent beam which comes out from the nickel prism vibrates only in one direction, right? When in shortcut we can say that when a three-dimensional light is passed through the nickel prism, we will get the light which is vibrating in only one plane. Such type of light is called as plane polarized light. Plane polarized light is nothing but a light which is vibrating in single direction, single plane, right? What is nickel prism? This is a special type of prism composed of doubly refracting substance like calcium carbonate. This is a nickel prism. What it will do? It will convert the three-dimensional light into plane polarized light, right? When we pass this plane polarized light through the substance in solution form, what happens? Its plane of polarization is rotated either towards right side or towards left side. In the first example, the complex, the molecule, what it do here? It has rotated the plane polarized light towards right side. Such type of compound is called as levorotatory compound. In the second example, when we passed the plane polarized light, what happened there? The plane polarized light has been rotated to left side. Such type of compound is called as dextrorotatory compound, right? So the compounds are of two types based on the optical activity: levorotatory compound or dextrorotatory compound. If the complex, sorry, here in the picture I have written here reverse. Actually, if the compound rotates the plane polarized light towards the right side, then it is called as dextrorotatory compound. If the compound rotates the plane polarized light towards the left side, then it is called as levorotatory compound. Dextro means right side bending, levo means left side bending, right? Right. So you can see in the image, manual polarimeter. Usually we measure the optical activity for a given compound using the instrument called polarimeter, and this is the manual polarimeter with which we measure the optical activity for a given compound. In the previous example, previous slide, you can see here, right? The dextro compound is denoted by small d or plus sign. Levorotatory compound is denoted by small l minus sign. Once again, I am reminding you, I am noting you here that if the compound rotates the plane polarized light towards right side, then it is called as dextrorotatory compound, denoted by small d. If the compound rotates the plane polarized light towards left side, then it is called as levorotatory compound. It is denoted by small l or minus sign, right? So this is the manual polarimeter, and this is the digital polarimeter. You can see in the image, you have a tube, horizontal tube. In between, we will place the compound solution for which we are going to determine the optical activity. This is the digital polarimeter, right? And what is the criteria for the compound to exhibit the optical activity? Just now we have told that whichever the compound rotates the plane polarized light either towards left side or towards right side is called as optically active compound. Such compounds are called as optically active compounds, right? So what is the criteria for the compound to exhibit optical activity? The criteria is the compound mirror image should be non-superimposable on one another. For example, you can see here, this is a tetrahedral complex binded to 4 different ligands, and if you look at the right side structure, these two are mirror image to one another, right? Since the compound 1 and 2 are mirror image to each other, since this compound is mirror image to the right side of the compound, and these two are, you see, if you try to superimpose these two compounds, what happens? We will see those two are non-superimposable. So whichever the compound shows non-superimposability with its mirror image, then that compound is optically active. This is the criteria, right? Once again I am noting you here, this is very important. What is the criteria for a compound to exhibit optical activity? That is, the compound mirror image should be non-superimposable with it. You can see in the example, this compound mirror image is non-superimposable with the original one. Therefore, this compound is optically active. That means we can say that the complexes with coordination number 4 having tetrahedral structure connected to 4 different ligands is a optically active compound, right? The second criteria is absence of symmetry elements in the compound. In order to exhibit the optical activity, in the compound there should be the absence of symmetry elements like alternating axis of symmetry, that is Sn, plane of symmetry denoted by sigma, as well as symmetry, center of symmetry, that is denoted by I. The absence of these symmetry elements is the criteria for a compound to exhibit the optical activity. For example, this is a square planar complex. You can see this molecule is a planar molecule. That means it has a molecular plane of symmetry. It has a plane of symmetry which passes through the molecular plane. Therefore, it is optically inactive. Because the criteria is the molecule should not have plane of symmetry. If the molecule do not have the above mentioned symmetry elements, then only the molecule is optically active. Otherwise, it is optically inactive. Right? Now, this square planar complex is having a plane of symmetry which is a molecular plane. Therefore, this is optically inactive. There is no optical isomerism for square planar complexes. There is no optical isomerism for square planar complexes. Whereas there is a optical isomerism for tetrahedral complexes, right? Because here the mirror image is non-superimposable, therefore it is optically active. These are the two criteria for a molecule to exhibit optical activity, right? Coming to the optical isomerism in octahedral complexes, MA4B2 type. You can see MA4B2 type exhibits two types of geometrical isomers, that is cis form, another one is trans form. In the trans form, it has plane of symmetry, therefore it is optically inactive. In cis form also it is having plane of symmetry, therefore there is no optical isomerism for this type of compound. Coming to the MA3B3 type, both facial as well as meridional form of complex, that is in these two geometrical isomers, they have plane of symmetry, therefore no optical isomerism for these complexes. Because just now I have told you that for a compound to exhibit optical activity, there should not be any symmetry element, that is plane of symmetry should be absent for a molecule to exhibit optical activity. But in these two complexes they have plane of symmetry, therefore they are optically inactive. How to identify the presence of plane of symmetry in a given complex? In a very simple manner. We have one trick, right? The trick to identify the presence of plane of symmetry is, you can see here in the facial, right, the top A is perpendicular to, the top B ligand is perpendicular to A. That means here the combination is AB. Similarly, another combination is AB, another combination is AB, right? Any molecule having two same pairs, such complex will have plane of symmetry, it is optically inactive. here you can see in the facial it has 3 pairs, AB, AB, AB. All are same pairs. In the first pair AB, second pair AB, third pair AB. It is optically inactive. In the meridional also you can see it has AB, AB, AB. Therefore it is optically inactive. In the previous case you can see the top A is in perpendicular to the another bottom A. Therefore it is AA combination. Remaining are AB, AB. So any complex having a pair with 2 identical ligands, it is optically inactive. A pair with 2 identical ligands. A pair with 2 identical ligands, it is optically inactive. So these are the 2 statements which you can use as a trick to identify the presence of plane of symmetry in a given complex. Right? A complex having a pair with 2 identical ligands is optically inactive. That is AA combination is optically inactive. Or a complex having 2 pairs, 2 same pairs, that is AB, AB, then it is optically inactive. Right? Coming to the optical isomerism in octahedral complexes. Example, this is the example you can see here. In this complex, it is having both the monodentate ligand as well as symmetrical bidentative ligand. So you can see in this we have 2 types of geometrical isomerism. That is cis form, another one is trans form. In cis form, the 2 chloro ligands are nearer to each other, therefore we will call it as a cis geometrical isomer. In the trans form, the 2 monochloro ligands are opposite to each other, therefore it is called as trans geometrical isomer. Right? And if you see the cis isomer, there is no plane of symmetry for it, that is optically active, because there is no plane of symmetry for cis form. There is no plane of symmetry, therefore it is optically active. But whereas for trans form, there is a plane of symmetry because there is a pair having 2 identical ligands, because here chlorine is connected to another chlorine in opposite direction. That means it is having a pair with 2 identical ligands, that is Cl-Cl. Therefore it is optically inactive. Based on our trick, we have a trick, that is a complex having a pair with 2 identical ligands, that is optically inactive. Therefore we can say that in our trans form also the 2 chloro ligands are opposite to each other. That means it has a pair, that is chloro-chloro. Both are identical, therefore it is optically inactive. Otherwise we can also check the presence of plane of symmetry. You can see here, this is an imaginary plane I have taken here. This plane dividing the molecule into 2 equal halves which are mirror image to one another. Therefore we can say the molecule is having plane of symmetry. So in trans form, plane of symmetry is present. So based on our criteria definition, we can say there is no optical isomerism for this trans form of taken complex. Whereas in cis form, there is no plane of symmetry. Therefore we have optical isomerism for this complex. For this cis form, you can see for trans there is a plane of symmetry, it is optically inactive, but whereas cis there is no plane of symmetry, it exhibits optical activity. That means these 2 are optical isomers. That means these are the mirror image to one another. Whichever the stereoisomers which are mirror image to one another, those 2 are called as optical isomers. The other name for these optical isomers is enantiomers. That means these 2 are enantiomers. These 2 are optical isomers. These are the stereoisomers which differ in optical activity, and remaining all other physical and chemical properties are identical for these optical isomers. Right? For optical isomers, except the optical activity, remaining all are identical properties. Right? At the end, just if you try to summarize the important points about the isomerism in coordination compounds, we can shortly summarize that. Similar to the organic compounds, coordination compounds exhibit various types of isomerism, that is structural as well as stereoisomerism. Coming to the stereoisomerism is of two types: geometrical isomerism, optical isomerism. Right? Geometrical isomerism, there is no geometrical isomerism for tetrahedral complex, because the two given bonds are any two given bonds in the tetrahedral complex are separated by equal angle, that means 109 degrees 28 minutes. Therefore there is no question of geometrical isomerism in tetrahedral complexes. Only square planar as well as octahedral complexes will exhibit geometrical isomerism. Coming to the optical isomerism, square planar complex do not exhibit optical isomerism, because the criteria is the complex should not have any symmetry element like plane of symmetry, center of symmetry, alternate axis of symmetry. Right? But our square planar complex is a planar molecule, it has a plane of symmetry, therefore it is optically inactive. Whereas the tetrahedral complex connected to 4 different ligands is optically active, because its mirror image is non-superimposable with the original one, therefore it is optically active. Right? Similarly, whichever the octahedral complex having no plane of symmetry is optically active. We have gone through various examples having bidentative ligands as well as monodentative ligands. Right? And what is optical activity? Optical activity is nothing but it is the phenomenon of rotating the plane polarized light towards right side or left side. This is called optical activity. We measure the optical activity using polarimeter. So these are the important points which we have covered in this video lecture. Now I think you are feeling very comfort with what we have covered in this video presentation about the stereoisomerism in coordination compounds. Finally, thank you for going through the video presentation. At the last but not least, here is a proverb for you, that is, nurture the nature for the future. Thank you.